Thanks, Chairman. Thanks for holding this important hearing. Look, we're focused on a lot of other areas of the world right now, but we can't let our eyes off the ball on Syria. I remember when I chaired the Homeland Security Committee, watching the rise of ISIS and the caliphate was one of the most terrifying things I've seen in my career and my lifetime. And the threat it posed to the United States and our national security interests was real, as we saw foreign fighters entering Europe and the United States. So here we are back in Syria again. All roads lead to Damascus, as it said in the Bible. March 10th agreement was done in part to satisfy conditions made by the Congress to lift the Caesar Act sanctions. Unfortunately, that document was not fully enforced. We saw an upscale in violence. I was in Israel and I talked to the Druze sheikhs there who showed me videos of decapitations similar to what I saw when I chaired Homeland a decade ago when ISIS controlled Syria. The SDF, who is an ally of ours, we worked with the SDF to defeat ISIS, has been under advancement and attacked by Syrian forces as well. Most disturbingly, we saw prisoners from the prison in eastern Syria being released to go God knows where. Thank God CENTCOM stepped in and removed 7,000 remaining ISIS detainees to Iraq. But we do not have a full accounting of what happened to those who actually got out. That is a nightmare scenario from a national security perspective. I am pleased that there's a new agreement, January 30th, in response to this uptick in violence against ethnic minorities, including Christians, in response to the attacks on the Kurds and SDF. When the March 10th called for integration and normalization, that was not happening. So now we have this new agreement, January 30th, an attempt to get back to normalization and integration between the ethnic minorities, SDF forces, and the new Syrian government. Ms. Nadine Mainza, can I ask you, what is the status now of the implementation of the January 30th agreement?
Thanks so much, Congressman. And I did get an update this morning from Northeast Syria, and of course there's great hope that, that this agreement will be successful. But currently, the Syrian government has not withdrawn troops, and they need to by the end of the day. While the governor of Hasaka was appointed and chosen, he's assumed his responsibility, but the government hasn't officially appointed him yet. They also apparently are appointing people to different positions without consultation with the SDF. We also, of course, continue to see the siege of Kobani, which is dangerous at this point. And there's supposed to be an exchange of detainees, and that isn't also being facilitated. And there continues to be hate speech and rumors that are just adding a lot of tension to it. There is much hope that this could preserve what they build in these Kurdish areas, because it is supposed to integrate in both the inclusive government they've built, which includes all the religious and ethnic minorities, with half the leaders being women. So they would maintain that, and they would keep their local security, which, as we talked about, and of course, Congressman Mills, your point was well taken, which is, what do we do with this army? Well, one of the ways we do it is by allowing local security. So these folks that are hardened, sometimes Islamists, are not in these minority communities. And right now, when I was traveling throughout parts of Syria, I ran into the fact that almost every mayor I met was from Idlib or HGS, and all the security was as well. And so I'm just saying that's not the safe way forward in this way forward. I think one of my recommendations I made is to create a mechanism to monitor the January 30th Northeast Syria integration, ideally with partners UK, France, and Germany, because they've said they would do that, and make sure that they keep local officials. Because, of course, what can happen is everyone starts looking away, and immediately they're all fired, and new people are brought in, and no one even notices. To keep that ethnic and religious diversity that's in the government right now, the Syrian security forces cannot enter these Kurdish, Yazidi, and Assyrian areas. And I think that we have not seen the Syrian government keep any of their deals with the SDF so far. But there is hope. I'll tell you what, they want this to work in the Northeast, but I don't think, I fear that unless the international community, and the U.S. in particular, is really strong on it, that might not happen.
Well, my biggest concern in my 5 seconds is a return to the Islamic State. And I am supportive of this new president. I want him to succeed, but I do not want to return to an Islamic State again in Syria. I yield back.
And if I could just add for legitimacy for him himself, this helps al-Shara for this to be successful. He needs legitimacy with these minorities. And if it fails, it actually hurts him and will hurt the whole government and the stability of the whole government.
Agreed. Thanks.
Thank you, Chairman Emeritus McCaul.